Okay, I don't have a screen recorder on this new computer yet, so I figured I'd do a quick video to kind of show you how this new system is going to kind of look. Of course, tomorrow you're going to see this, but I wanted to kind of show you just how this is coming along. So the way this works is if you got all these different functions, and not all of these functions need to have an offender selected, such as you can do the judicial functions, and you could also do your registrar functions without having to have a particular inmate or offender selected. However, if you do come into an area that requires to have an inmate selected, such as if I want to do booking on a new person, so if I want to go ahead and do a new booking, it's going to make me select an inmate from the list. So I'm going down here, and of course I would run down the list, and I find the inmate I want to select. I'll select me, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. And then it's going to come up here and it's going to put my information up here. So now this is currently working with this offender. This is the information right here on this offender currently, and this stays on the top of the screen the entire time you're working with a person. This will stay at the top of the very top of the screen. All right, so now we're going to come in here, and now since I want to do the booking again, I'm going to go ahead and select booking, because now I have an offender selected. Now I can select booking. So now we go to the booking management form, and this allows them to put in the booking ID, which is auto-generated, which will be generated by the computer when they submit the booking sheet. The booking date and time, classification rating, which I'll make that where it'll be a drop down. The arresting agency case numbers, and then the address where the arrest were arrested, which would be the AA address, or the address for the offense, which would be the AO address. And please note whether this is an AA or an AO address. These are classification related questions, and those questions would be: are any offenses drug related, or any offenses alcohol related, are any offenses sex crimes, or any offenses against children, are any offenses for violence? Does offender have any previous sexual crimes? Does offender have a violent history or gang affiliation? And then we'll be down here to they can complete the housing, cell, or block number if they have it, and the gang affiliation information can go there. And right here is going to let them be able to scan in the charging documents right here on this screen. They can scan the documents in. They can scan the police report. They can also scan additional documents 1 and additional documents 2. They'll just type in the name of the document. That'll put it in the docket with that name on it. And then down here is where they're going to be able to put in all of the charges that are associated with these charging documents. So they're going to put in charging document number, the count number, and the charge. Charging document number, count number, and charge. So it'll go right down the list here. These will all be grouped under the booking number. So that's very important to understand, that everything gets grouped under a booking number instead of being grouped under a charge number, because when they come in, they're being booked on these charges. Now, of course, if they're in and they get booked on something else while they're in, they will, of course, just add them to this booking number, to this booking item. And then down here, it'll be employer. This will be provide an update. Employer's name, employer address, supervisor's name, supervisor or company phone number, position with the company. These are things that change on a regular basis. So when a person comes in to be booked, this is what's going to be updated. Then the current home address, we're going to ask them, of course, for the current home address, emergency contact name and phone number, emergency contact relation. And we can, of course, ask them additional information that can change. We can also have them update in the profile. They can go to the profile view and update things like their sex, or of course that'll never change, but the height and weight, color of their hair, maybe if they don't have any hair at all. Different things like that could be updated. So that's the important things that can be done. Of course, now I don't have everything here done yet, but I'm just going to cancel this. If you cancel this, of course, it's going to take it back to the main menu where they're able to do additional things with this particular inmate. Booking, they can view the offender. This is where they can go in and view the offender and actually do additional things to the profile and biometrics. And then this is where you view the dockets and hearings. Supreme Court registrar functions will be here, and they can do all their stuff for the Supreme Court. These are quick add items. These are additional things that can be done inside of here without having to go to the Supreme Court registrar functions itself. There'll be additional things inside of here that can be done without having to have an inmate selected. The bail app status, the suretor for this particular offender, the attorney functions. You can add attorneys and stuff to the case. The moves and transfers, court calendar. These are all things that can be done for this particular offender. So it goes in order: booking, dockets, the registrar, the judicial functions. The judicial functions will be in here, where all the judge will have all his ability to be able to type in his case notes and submit information. And then the current charges, and then charge history. And then the last thing it goes to, of course, is it goes to the bail kiosk administration and the release of offender, which is they make sure that all of the conditions that the judge has entered are checked. And as long as all the offenders conditions are met, they can release them. And this would be a termination of bill where they terminate them either because they came back on a warrant because they was non-compliant, or they have terminated normally. Now I'm going to change this normal termination to any termination, because that way they can terminate bail for any reason. And down here you'll be able to view the kiosk logs. You can see the kiosk violations for this offender, and you can also, and this is the kiosk logs. If you do not have an offender selected, some of these buttons will have multi-functions. If you do not have an offender selected, these buttons will do different things. Such as if you do a kiosk log with no offender selected, it's like if you go ahead and take off the offender and there's no offender selected, you do kiosk log, it's going to show you all of the kiosk logs. And if you do violations, it's going to do all the violations. But if you have an offender selected, so I'll go back into here in mine, and then you did, with an offender selected, then you did the kiosk logs, it's going to show you the kiosk logs for this offender, or the violations for this offender. And then you can request a warrant for non-compliance. Will be based on that offender you have selected. And so that'll be a way that the criminal registrar can submit a withdrawal of their and put an arrest warrant out for the person based on a non-compliant issue. And then we have the area where attorneys can access the thing. This will be the attorneys section, where they will be able to e-file for the bail application. They'll be able to e-file for bail variation. They'll be able to e-file a revocation of bail, and they'll be able to submit other pleadings through PDF right here. Because basically the attorney is the only one that's going to have access to do these type of things. Obviously the criminal registrar will also have these same functions in this section, but for the attorney, they'll be able to come right here and be able to do their access to things right here in this particular area. So if they come up here, they'll be able to do a selection, but they will not be able to do anything other than an e-file for the bail application, and that's going to give them the right, once they pay, or once they have been selected that they have paid, to be able to have access to do other things for this inmate, such as they will not be able to view the docket, they will not be able to do a booking form ever. There are certain things they won't be able to do in here at all unless they have actually paid the money and have access to that actual inmate. So that's the important things here, is everything is role-based. I'm changing the look to make it just more streamlined, a little easier to be able to actually work with, and everything will work really, really well, really quickly like this here. So I'm basically rewriting a little bit of the UI, the way things are looking and working. So I'm also making it more in the form of a jail management system, so that way when we go to transfer everything over to a jail management system, this will just plug right in. So that's the parts I'm doing right now.